Hey there, and welcome to another deep dive from the Morris Global Finance podcast team. I'm John, and today we're going to be venturing into the world of precious metals with Tiffany, our resident expert on all things shiny.
Always happy to dig into this stuff, John. There's just something fascinating about tangible assets, especially in times like these. With all the economic uncertainty swirling around.
Absolutely, and that brings us to today's focus. Bullion Trading LLC, a precious metals dealer based in, of all places, the heart of New York City.
Times Square, baby. You'd think they'd be hidden away in some, fortress-like building. But nope, practically neighbors with the flashing billboards and Broadway shows.
It's quite a contrast for sure. Definitely breaks the mold of the, secretive back alley bullion dealer. So let's say you're listening to this and thinking, okay, inflation's got me a little worried. Maybe I should look into gold and silver. What are some of the first things that jump out at you about Bullion Trading LLC?
Well, first off, the fact that they're a family-run business, established back in 2009. There's a certain level of trust that comes with a family name being on the line. Plus, they've been around for a while. They've weathered the storm, so to speak, which speaks to their stability.
That's a great point. It's easy to get caught up in the hype. But longevity in a market like precious metals is a big plus, so they've got that going for them. But let's get into the nitty-gritty. What kind of stuff do they actually offer?
Well, you've got your standard gold and silver coins and bars, of course. But they also offer platinum and palladium. Those are often overlooked, but can be smart additions to a portfolio.
Okay, so they've got the core metals covered. What else makes them stand out?
They go beyond just bullion. They have grains for jewelry making. It's a niche market, but shows they cater to more than just investors. And get this, they even have a selection of gift items. Imagine like a gold bar with the Statue of Liberty engraved on it.
Wow, that's pretty cool. Talk about a gift that holds its value. But let's talk tech for a second. They have this AI assistant, which seems pretty unique for a precious metals dealer. What's the story there?
It's definitely innovative. Think of it as like a personalized guide to the world of precious metals investing. It can answer questions, provide information on specific products or market trends, even help you track your orders.
So for someone who's maybe intimidated by the whole precious metal scene, this AI could be a game changer. But what about when you're ready to sell? How does that work with Bullion Trading LLC?
Their buyback program is pretty straightforward. You request a quote online, lock in a price, ship your metals to them using their provided shipping labels, and they handle the payment once they've verified everything.
Sounds simple enough on the surface. But what about peace of mind? What assurances do they offer to sellers that they're getting a fair deal?
Transparency is key here. Their pricing is based on real-time market values, which you can easily track yourself. Plus, their monthly transaction volume is in the millions, indicates they're a major player in the industry. That kind of volume wouldn't be possible if they weren't reputable.
Right, they'd get called out pretty quickly if they were trying to pull a fast one. But what's the word on the street? What are actual customers saying about their experience with Bullion Trading LLC?
They've got a solid reputation online. An A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau is a good sign, and the reviews on platforms like Google, Trustpilot, Yelp are generally positive. People seem to appreciate their customer service and their straightforward approach.
Okay, so they're checking a lot of boxes so far. Experience product diversity, a tech-savvy approach, positive customer feedback. But let's get real. What are some potential downsides investors should be aware of?
One thing to note is the minimum investment for IRAs, which is set at $25,000. That could be a barrier for some people who are just starting out or looking to diversify a smaller portfolio.
That's definitely something to consider. Are there any other potential drawbacks, especially for someone who values speed and efficiency?
Some customer reviews mention that customer service response times can be a bit slow. And while their website is easy to navigate, they don't have a live chat feature, which might be a turnoff for those who prefer instant communication. Yeah, it's a trade-off. They might not be the fastest, but they seem to prioritize thoroughness and accuracy.
Makes sense. Sometimes good things take time. Now let's dive a bit deeper into their buyback program. You mentioned they use real-time market values. What sets their program apart from other dealers?
Well, unlike some dealers who might try to lowball you when you're selling, Bullion Trading LLC's commitment to transparency really shines through here. They provide clear explanations of how they calculate buyback prices, factoring in things like current market conditions, metal purity, any applicable fees. You're not left wondering where the numbers came from.
That's reassuring, especially if you're dealing with a significant amount of precious metals. But let's flip the script and talk about buying. Say I'm ready to take the plunge. What stands out about their purchasing process?
One thing that caught my eye was their focus on security. especially when it comes to shipping. They exclusively use FedEx. And for first-time buyers using a credit card, you have to pick up your order in person from a FedEx location.
Interesting. So it's like a double verification process to protect both the buyer and the seller.
Exactly. And they don't skimp on insurance either. All shipments are fully insured until they reach your doorstep. They clearly understand the value of what they're dealing with and take the necessary precautions.
That level of detail definitely builds confidence. Now let's talk about choosing what to buy. They've got this wide array of products, from standard bullion to more unique offerings. What are some of the standout items or categories that might pique a listener's interest?
Their gold selection is quite impressive, ranging from small fractional gold coins, perfect for beginners, to larger 1-ounce bars that are popular with seasoned investors. They even offer premium 24K gold casting grain catering to the jewelry-making crowd.
It's like they've got something for everyone. What about their silver offerings? Anything unique there?
They have the classics, like American Eagle silver coins. Those are always in demand. But they also have some more unusual items, like silver bullets in various sizes. It's a fun way to diversify a collection and add a bit of novelty.
Silver bullets. That's definitely a conversation starter. But let's be honest, for someone who's new to precious metals, this whole world can feel overwhelming. How does Bullion Trading LLC help navigate that initial decision-making process?
That's where their educational resources come in. They have a dedicated resource center on their website, packed with articles and blog posts explaining the nuances of precious metals investing. They cover everything from the history of gold to strategies for choosing the right silver investments.
So it's not just a sales platform. They're actually investing in educating their customers. That's a big plus in my book.
Absolutely. It aligns with their family-run business ethos. They seem to genuinely want to empower their customers to make informed decisions.
Now let's talk payment options. What methods do they accept?
They offer a decent variety: PayPal credit and debit cards, bank wire transfers, and even checks for those who prefer a more traditional approach.
So there's flexibility there. But are there any caveats or limitations based on the chosen payment method?
Yes, it's important to note that each method has its own terms and conditions. For example, there are specific order limits for PayPal and bank wire transfers. And paying by check, while an option obviously comes with a longer processing time.
Right, so it's always a good idea to read the fine print and choose the method that aligns best with your needs and timeline. Now, before we wrap things up, I want to circle back to the AI assistant. We touched on its basic functions, but how does it actually differentiate Bullion Trading LLC from its competitors?
The use of AI in this sector is still relatively new, so it's definitely a differentiator. It speaks to their willingness to embrace technology and enhance the customer experience. But the real value, I think, lies in its potential to democratize precious metals investing.
Democratize? What do you mean by that?
Traditionally, getting into precious metals often meant dealing with brokers or financial advisors, which could be intimidating and expensive. The AI assistant levels the playing field. By providing readily accessible guidance and information, it empowers individuals to take control of their investments and make decisions that align with their personal financial goals.
That's a fascinating point. It's almost like having a virtual financial advisor specifically for precious metals, available at your fingertips 24/7.
Exactly. And as AI technology continues to evolve, we can expect these tools to become even more sophisticated and personalized, further breaking down barriers to entry in the precious metals market.
Okay, that's pretty exciting. But before we get too carried away with the future of AI, let's bring it back to the here and now. Tiffany, as we start to wrap up our deep dive into Bullion Trading LLC, what are some of the key takeaways you think our listeners should keep in mind?
Well, I think the biggest takeaway is that Bullion Trading LLC offers a surprisingly comprehensive approach to precious metals investing. They've got the product variety, the commitment to transparency and security, and they seem to genuinely care about educating their customers.
Right. They're not just throwing you into the deep end and saying good luck. They're providing the resources and tools to help you navigate the complexities.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And their embrace of technology, particularly with the AI assistant, is a sign that they're looking ahead, adapting to the evolving needs of investors.
But it's not all sunshine and rainbows, right?
Hmm.
We did highlight some potential drawbacks.
Of course, no company is perfect. The minimum investment for IRAs might be a hurdle for some, and there's always room for improvement when it comes to customer service response times.
And the lack of a live chat feature might be a deal breaker for some folks who prefer instant communication.
True, but it's all about weighing the pros and cons and deciding what factors are most important to you as an investor.
Couldn't agree more. So let's say someone listening to this is on the fence about precious metals investing in general. What would be your advice to them?
My advice would be to start with education. Don't jump in blindly just because you're worried about inflation or economic uncertainty. Take the time to learn about the different types of precious metals, the factors that influence their prices, and how they might fit into your overall investment strategy.
And Bullion Trading LLC's Resource Center seems like a good place to start that journey.
It's definitely a valuable resource, but it's also important to do your own research, read independent analyses, and maybe even talk to a financial advisor who specializes in precious metals.
Right. It's all about gathering information from multiple sources and forming your own educated opinion.
Exactly. Precious metals can be a great addition to a diversified portfolio, but they're not a magic bullet. It's crucial to approach them with a clear understanding of the risks and rewards.
Well said. And speaking of rewards, Tiffany, it's always a reward having you on the show. Thanks for sharing your insights with us today.
My pleasure, John. Always happy to demystify the world of precious metals.
And to all you listeners out there, thanks for joining us on this deep dive into Bullion Trading LLC. If you were considering investing in precious metals, what factors would you prioritize? Where would you go to do your research? We'd love to hear your thoughts. Until next time, stay curious and keep learning.